China and America throw punches in a high-stakes economic showdown. Buckle up, folks, because things are about to get trade-wary. The global economy is on edge, and everyone is watching closely. In 2018, Trump, in his infinite wisdom, decided to slap tariffs on Chinese goods. This move was seen as a bold step to protect American interests. Why? Because China was cheating at trade, or so he claimed. The accusations included unfair trade practices and intellectual property theft. China, not one to back down from a fight, retaliated with tariffs of their own. They targeted American products, escalating the conflict, and thus began a trade war for the ages, one that would make even the most seasoned economists say, "What in the tariffing heck is going on?" The stakes were high, and the outcomes uncertain. The US wanted to reduce its trade deficit with China, which was massive, by the way. The imbalance was seen as a threat to the American economy. They also wanted to protect American jobs and intellectual property, because apparently, China was stealing both like it was going out of style. The goal was to level the playing field. But here's the thing about trade wars. They're messy, unpredictable, and rarely have clear winners. The global markets reacted with volatility, and businesses on both sides felt the impact. Small businesses struggled to cope with the new tariffs, and consumers faced higher prices on everyday goods. The ripple effects were felt far and wide. Diplomatic efforts were made to resolve the conflict, but progress was slow. Both nations stood firm in their positions, making negotiations challenging. As the trade war dragged on, analysts speculated about the long-term effects on global trade. Would this be a turning point in international relations, or just a temporary skirmish? Only time will tell how this trade war will shape the future. For now, the world watches and waits, hoping for a resolution that benefits all parties involved. China, unlike America, which has the attention span of a goldfish on espresso, was playing the long game. They knew that Trump, with his love for quick wins and Twitter rants, wouldn't be able to maintain pressure for long. China's strategy was simple: wait it out. They absorbed the blow of US tariffs, supported their domestic industries, and diversified their trade partners. And you know what? It worked! While the US economy felt the sting of the trade war, China's economy, though initially affected, proved to be far more resilient. They played the long game, and they played it well. Remember those tariffs Trump imposed? Well, they backfired about as badly as a homemade firework in a phone booth. Instead of bringing jobs back to America, they actually led to job losses in manufacturing and agriculture sectors. And guess who ended up paying for those tariffs? Yep, American consumers and businesses bore the brunt of the costs. Way to go, champ! The trade war also hurt American businesses that relied heavily on Chinese imports. It disrupted supply chains, increased costs, and made American products less competitive globally. In short, it was a mess. A big, expensive, tariff-filled mess that affected everyone. Section 4, the aftermath. China wins, but at what cost? So, did China win the trade war? In many ways, yes. They managed to navigate through the turbulent waters of economic conflict with resilience and strategic planning. They weathered the storm, their economy continued to grow, and they solidified their position as a global economic powerhouse. China's ability to adapt and innovate played a crucial role in this success. The US, on the other hand, didn't fare so well. The trade war led to significant disruptions in various industries, causing a ripple effect that was felt across the nation. The trade war hurt the US economy, cost American jobs, and damaged its reputation as a reliable trading partner. Many businesses struggled to stay afloat, and the American workforce faced unprecedented challenges. But here's the thing about victories: they often come at a cost. While China emerged stronger, the long-term implications of this economic battle are still unfolding. The trade war damaged the already fragile relationship between the US and China. Diplomatic ties were strained, and trust between the two nations eroded significantly. It created an atmosphere of mistrust, hostility, and competition, which isn't exactly a recipe for global stability. The world watches closely as these two superpowers navigate their complex relationship. knowing that their actions will have far-reaching consequences for international relations and economic stability. Section 5. Experts. Chime in. Told you so, and what's next? Most experts agree. The trade war was a lose-lose situation, but the US definitely lost more. They argue that Trump's approach was misguided and counterproductive. They warn of the long-term consequences of the trade war, including a more fragmented global economy and increased geopolitical tensions. So, what's next? The trade war may be over, but the rivalry between the US and China is far from finished. The two countries are locked in a battle for global dominance, and the trade war was just one chapter in this ongoing saga. Section 6. Frenemies forever? The future of US-China relations. The US and China are like that couple who breaks up and gets back together every other week. They need each other economically, but they just can't seem to get along politically. The US sees China as a threat to its global dominance, while China sees the US as a jealous ex trying to hold it back. The future of US-China relations is uncertain at best. Will they find a way to coexist peacefully, or will their rivalry escalate into something more dangerous? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure, the world is watching. Section 7. And the winner is? Spoiler. It's complicated. In the intricate web of global trade, determining a clear winner is never straightforward. There are no real winners in a trade war, folks. The ripple effects are felt far and wide, impacting economies, businesses, and everyday lives. Everyone loses in some way. Factories shut down, stores close their doors, and economic hardship becomes a harsh reality for many. But if we have to pick a winner, it would have to be China. They have managed to navigate the turbulent waters of global trade with remarkable resilience. They played the long game, they adapted to the changing circumstances, and they came out on top, at least economically. Their factories kept humming, their ports remained busy, and their technological advancements surged ahead. The US, on the other hand, needs to rethink its approach to China. The strategies employed have not yielded the desired results, and the economic downturn has been significant. Starting a trade war was like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. It just made things worse. The intended pressure on China backfired, causing more harm than good. The US needs to find a way to work with China, not against it, if it wants to maintain its global standing. Cooperation, rather than confrontation, is the path forward. Because in the game of global dominance, cooperation is key. The interconnected nature of today's world means that working together can lead to mutual benefits and shared prosperity. And right now, the US is playing checkers, while China is playing 3D chess with the world's economy. The strategic depth and foresight displayed by China highlight the need for a more nuanced and collaborative approach from the US.